Dale Carnegie discovered something painful in 1948. The harder he tried to be liked, the more enemies he created. And that realization explains why people-pleasing quietly destroys so many people. Most people assume criticism can be avoided if they become more agreeable. Softer opinions, more apologies, less conflict, more diplomacy. But Carnegie noticed something strange. The more you tried to smooth over every disagreement and pacify every reaction, the more criticism increased instead of decreased. Why? Because constantly reshaping yourself creates distrust. People stop knowing who you actually are. And once people sense fear, inconsistency, or nervous approval seeking, criticism often multiplies. Trying to avoid disapproval becomes the exact thing, attracting more of it. That's why the people most obsessed with being liked are often the people most emotionally controlled by criticism. So Carnegie offered a different strategy. One image, one mental tool, an old umbrella. He wrote, "Do the very best you can, and then put up your old umbrella and keep the rain of criticism from running down the back of your neck." That sentence contains almost everything. First, do your best. That part matters. You cannot hide from criticism caused by careless work, dishonesty, or laziness. The umbrella is not an excuse to avoid growth. You earn the right to use it by taking your work seriously first. Then comes the second step. Put up the umbrella. Not a shiny new one, not a dramatic one. An old umbrella, meaning something simple, practiced, reliable, a calm response, a stable mindset, a few grounded phrases you already know how to use. Because criticism becomes dangerous when it reaches your nervous system too deeply, when it slides under your collar, when one comment ruins your day, when somebody's opinion controls your mood, identity, or confidence. The umbrella prevents that. And here's the strange paradox Carnegie discovered. The harder you try to prevent criticism entirely, the more emotionally fragile you become, because you start shaping yourself around every reaction. You become impossible to trust, even to yourself. Now here's one of the most useful practical responses you can learn. When someone criticizes you, instead of immediately defending yourself, collapsing, over-explaining, or counterattacking, say this: "Thank you, I'll think about it." That's the umbrella. No panic, no emotional explosion, no desperate approval seeking, just enough distance to think clearly. Then later, privately, you examine the criticism honestly. If it contains truth, you use it. If it's noise, projection, insecurity, or cruelty, you let it pass. But the critic never gets direct access to your emotional center. That's emotional discipline. And it's different from pretending not to care. That's where people misunderstand this idea. The goal is not becoming numb. The goal is discernment. Some criticism matters deeply, especially from wise people, mentors, trusted friends, or reality itself. But much of modern criticism is emotional weather, random, reactive, temporary. Not all feedback deserves permanent residence inside your identity. That's why the umbrella matters. Not because it blocks reality, because it filters reality. And this only works if the foundation underneath it is solid. Carnegie's sentence starts with, "Do the very best you can." That comes first for a reason. Without integrity, the umbrella becomes avoidance. People who ignore all criticism completely often become arrogant and blind. But people who absorb every criticism become anxious wrecks. The balance is the skill. Effort first, protection second. That's emotional maturity. And there's another uncomfortable truth hidden underneath all of this. If you try to live publicly, create things, lead, speak honestly, build anything meaningful, or stand for something, you will be criticized. There is no version of visibility without judgment. None. So the goal cannot be avoiding rain forever. The goal is learning how to walk through it without drowning emotionally every time it falls. That's the old umbrella already available to you. A calm nervous system, clear standards, a practiced response, the ability to separate useful feedback from emotional noise, and the next time criticism comes, because it will remember the 7-word umbrella. "Thank you, I'll think about it," then keep walking. Some criticism will help you grow. Most of it will evaporate. None of it needs to run down the back of your neck.